Hello and welcome to you all, those who have joined me as a Facebook Live or have joined me in this platform, where I always, every week, bring from the different walk of life, excellent peoples, academic peoples, engineers, doctors, to get some lesson from their life, their achievements, their education journey. This is the main idea behind this program. So keeping in mind, as we know that the whole world is moving forward, just because any kinds of development, any kind of invention, any kind of progress, what is happening in the world, it is all because of one thing, which is called the creativity and research. So because of the creativity, the world is moving forward. People are getting more and more benefits. Life is becoming easier. Medicines are coming up, new medicine which were dangerous before. Now people are saving their life. So all these research works are giving a new way of life to the human being, and the world is moving forward. It is also a criteria. The country which produces more research are the one who is leading the world. As we know that the America is the large number of America has the large number of patent as well as the large number of publications. But China is also giving a tough time to the America right now. China is also moving and doing research in large numbers. So it's going on and competition is good. So keeping this in mind, for my audience, I have brought today a person from that category. He is a great researcher. He's a great researcher. He's a professor of strategic management. He is a consultant, educational quality assurance and accreditation committee members. He is expert in governance, expert in strategic planning and institutional performance, international trainer and tutor, licensed from ASR and T London, UK, academic researcher, PG supervisor, field worker expert, and consultant in education sector, business sector, and sports sector. He has, as I told you, he has published many books and a large number of peer-reviewed research papers. So without delay, I'm going to invite Dr. Professor Tareq Shereef Younus. You are welcome, sir. Put your camera on. Welcome on this program. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you so much, Dr. Reyaz. I'm very happy that to attend this event, actually, because it is very historical moment that I can share my knowledge and experience with all audience.
Very good. So the format of this
thank
program,
you and thanks.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
yes.
Thanks all audience for attending this event. Inshallah, I will share them my experience and my knowledge, and through my journey, long journey in education, academic, and field work as well.
Yes, sure, sir. People are here to force you to share this, because they have joined here to listen from you, and they will force you to share all these, what you have hidden in you. It has to come out for the benefit of the people in general. So format of this program is that I will be asking question to my guest, and he will be answering, and this process will continue 45 minutes. And after that, I will be giving chances to the audience to ask question to him. So without any delay, I'm just directly moving to Dr. Professor Tareq Shereef Younus. Sir, first of all, let us know about your educational journey, because this is extremely important. People come to know, and they may get some kind of light from your journey. So please do explain to our audience about your educational journey. And then we will be moving one by one to your other things. So let us begin with first your educational journey. Over to you, doctor.
Yes, thank you so much. Actually, since 1981, when I moved to Britain, to UK, to Liverpool University, I just completed my study and then returned back to my country at that time at 1984. And I started my journey on the 25th of January 1984 as a lecturer, and then I moved forward in teaching, and after that, as as you know that when I joined the university at that time, I just joined, newly as a newly member at that time. And then I got experience from my previous university. And I joined all my colleagues there, and I learned from them too much, from all the people, all the colleagues. They had very good experience and research and teaching and so on. Then I just moved through the scale of promotion. I have gone assistant professor, associate professor, and then professor since professor. I got it since 1997, 31st of September at that time. And I completed my journey in my country at that time. And I moved from my country to another countries in order to, to continue on my journey of academic research and fieldwork experience.
So, could you mention the universities you have worked in, Doctor? Just few universities.
Yes, I work in many universities, but initially I worked with Mosul University in Iraq, in Mosul, north of Iraq.
Yes.
And then I moved to universities in Jordan, Applied Science University in Jordan. And I've been appointed as a dean in Applied Science University in Bahrain. And then I worked with, as external examiner and external viewer for many other universities, Ahliya University and other universities in the region. And then I moved to United Arab Emirates as chairperson for business program. At that time, the business was under probation. I did my job there based on the quality assurance. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He blessed me at that time that I lifted the probation from the program, and then the university recruited the newcomers at that time. And then I moved to Ahliya, to American College of Dubai for some years, there. And even I worked there as a lecturer and the research team leader and director of postgraduate program at that time.
So
and then I moved after that. I found another good opportunity in the field work. I moved to Saudi Arabia in the sport sector. I did a lot of field work there as a governance, strategic management, and internal auditor as well. So I mixed my journey was mixed between academic consultant and field work advisor. And then I held a lot of leadership positions in the academic and then non-academic sectors. Cool. And then I'm working now, joining now some other universities. They are licensed in Britain. One of the university, electronic university, distance learning university. Up to now, we are waiting to get approval for the first program in Victoria University in London. And I have a good communication with them, and they gave me, and I honored that they gave me, a position advisor for quality assurance and accreditation in that university. Even I work as a part-time here and there in many universities, Arab Open University, Al University, and some other universities, and I run a lot of programs of training and workshops, and so many other things.
So, yeah. Doctor, it seems that you have been working in a large number of universities in many positions. So obviously, when you move from one position to another, there should have been some kind of educational philosophy that you have been using while teaching the students. So could you please describe your philosophy of education when you are teaching to the students? Okay, so that what was the distinct thing you have been doing, and how did you reported to be mesmerizing the students while teaching? So could you please give us some example and detail of your philosophy of education? So over to you, Doctor. Please put your camera on, sir, Doctor.
On?
Put your camera on, Doctor. Your camera is not on.
Okay, because
Yes.
you already
Yeah.
closed it. I don't.
Yes. So now your
You-
philosophy of teaching, Doctor. Your
Yes,
philosophy of teaching.
yes, actually, through my journey about 30 years plus in education as an academic and researcher, I built my own philosophy, my own personal philosophy of education, uh, based on some principles that teachers must hold students to high expectations. So
Very
I
good.
always guide students to be highly to have a high expectations. And since I found that the students need an effective tools and resources, so I provided them with a lot of resources and websites, and even I contributed through my books and my published papers in the international journals. And then I facilitated for them a lot of connections with international universities and publishers around the world. And this is my philosophy. And the other thing, actually, the teacher, as an example for students, I played a role that
Yes.
I tried to be an example for them through telling them that my experience and my journey in the education and research. In this case, that many students have been actually influenced by my style of philosophy. Then I offer them the teaching as a gift, not only as a position, to make them happy with every lecture, with every event, with every event that it is as a gift for them, because this is my hobby. I'm not looking to that in the philosophy. My philosophy, I'm not looking the teaching and research or anything like that as a position. It is a mission in itself.
Very good.
In this journey, I found this issue has a high impact on all my students and my colleagues as well.
Very good. So, Doctor, as we know that the teacher is a friend, philosopher, and guide, and you have already been proving throughout by your educational philosophies. But, Doctor, I am also a witness of your some core subject that you have been teaching in American College of Dubai. You have been always giving students the project, and
Yes.
sometimes the students were seeing you teaching that way, they were not happy, but later on they come to recognize that your contribution was really excellent. So could you please tell us your problem-based education, what you have been providing to the students, a little bit explanation of that, because this is very important. This is actually the should be the process of education nowadays. Everywhere the educationist is trying to create new methodology. One of them is the problem-based education. So I know that you have been teaching like small industry, business and all that. You have been teaching them by asking them to do some projects. So could you please explain this to our
Yes.
audience?
I just, as I told you that I have my own philosophy. And even though I, created my own teaching methods.
Yes.
I just followed my own teaching methods. The teaching methods, based on the level of teaching. When the students in the entry level, I teach them differently than if they are in the exit level.
Correct.
My teaching philosophy in the exit level, always, from the third degree or third year or fourth year or the graduation or in the exit level, I use that student-centered learning. I just engage them or involve them to be part of the teaching process. But student-centered learning as a constructive approach in the modern teaching and learning philosophy in the world. Whereas when I was in the early stage or in the early steps in my education journey, That was, I followed the very classical, very traditional, very unfruitful, teaching methods, because they centered on the lecturer or instructor centered learning. That is not enough. It is important, but is not enough. It is useful for those who are in the entry level, on the low level of, learning and teaching and learning stage.
Okay.
And then I mixed between both of them, and I found it is very good and useful and significant that I got students to the success, not only to the success, but to be an excellent students in their achievement, in their performance, and in their, their being as example and, valued students for the future.
Yes.
This linked to the students' expectation. When I build student expectation, I link my teaching philosophy and learning and teaching methods to this issue, because I map them always and I monitor them in this way. This is a very good approach in order to be an excellent lecturer and friendly to make or to create a friendly environment of teaching and learning. But if you only rely on the very classical, memorizing, focusing on the memorization or like that, you will isolate students from the real world of teaching and learning purposes.
Very good, doctor. Now there is an issue, doctor, that when you deviate from the existing learning process, there are some challenges. The challenges will be, for example, in your problem-based learning, you must be facing how you were grading them. The grading system, when you will be doing the problem-based, then grading will be a real issue, because the students are well used to give the assignment, then the quizzes and this and that, and they plan and they get the grades. But in your process, the problem-based methods, it is surely and certainly a deviation from that process. So how did you manage to do that? And could you please explain your gradation process for the students? Over to you, doctor.
Yes. In the first time, as you know, that when we worked together, we were working in American College of the Bay.
Yes.
The students, when they feel they are scared, they are very scared about some instructors. But, we have our own way to familiarize them with our philosophy and teaching and our purposes. When they say that, when I gonna talk about this issue, I need a lot of things I need to be presented. But I summarize it based on my experience and very brief and right to the point. That the assessment is the tool. The challenge, I face the challenge. But how I can manage my challenge? Through just explain for them or make them, be aware about the assessment. The assessment, when I just break down the assessment into pieces of work as based on the formative assessment and summative assessment, then I just, break the ice, and then I make them very happy and very, familiar with the assessment. 80%, when I'm in the entry level, I deliver about 20% up to the 30%, the knowledge. I teach them knowledge. It needs memorization and to make them familiar with the memorization, because the foundation and the concepts and the definition should be there, right?
Yes, doctor.
But when they move a little bit up to the other level, the pyramid of education and learning, I just use the formative assessment. Formative assessment based on the projects, homework, case study, and the like. When I just, when the students familiar with this process, exactly, believe me or not, they are just checking when, and how they access my class. Because I'm looking to the students as my future, not as, numbers in the class. And sometimes I'm very strict. Why? Because I guide them to the excellence, not guide them to succeed.
Yes, very
I
good.
experienced this one with the students in many universities, and I found that my students already are an example in everywhere in the field work and in the university as well.
Very good. Doctor, now
This
as
is
we discussed here, everything is for the students. Okay, the students and parents are only concerned with the grades. Okay, so the student come to the first day and they will tell you, sir, how much you are going to give me the grade. So this is so of course, doctor, you must have faced some kind of difficulty to convince them in the beginning. Later on, I have seen already that the student understood your method, then they become very happy. But you must have faced some challenges because they are thinking where I'm going, I don't know. So could you explain your problem, this one, because this is very important. Anybody will take up this problem, they will face, so you will be a kind of help for them. So how did you manage to convince the student?
When they feel that I am looking for them on the eyes of Father, okay, an example for them, an example everywhere. Maybe some of my students now they are maybe attending or not, I don't know. But when they hear me that this philosophy I never changed on my life, because if the student fail, I feel that the reasons for fail behind me. Why? Because I didn't guide him in perfect way, and then the examination is not a challenge for them. Why? Because when I have 25 students or 50 students in the class, this is the maximum capacity of the class. I gave them 15 projects, not only one project to be shared, 15 projects. And then I guide them how to start with a project and how to go step by step up to the submitting the project. And then they will come to the computer, to the business lab. I just, I reserve for them, for everyone, a place, and I give him his own question, his own project. By the end, he will just, when he finished, he will upload his work directly to the e-learning system. And then I assess it. But if I find any student fail and his record is good in attendance, participation, leadership in the class, cooperation, discussion, I tell him that, look, I give you, I just, and this is my initiative always, I just, start with them. I give you another chance because I don't like to see you fail.
Very good.
He will then be happy. And Dr. Hassan, one time he told me, how you use this approach, and this is not informal. I told him, no, it is formal. He said, because it is load on you. I told him, no. He encouraged me because he's, and Dr. Hassan is very flexible person and is very professional one as a president there. I told me, okay, once I understand that you are leading student to the excellence, I am happy, but I'm worried if we are burden your timetable like that. Tell them, no, all my life is rested with the students' happiness, and that's it.
Very good, doctor. It's very, very clear that how hardworking person you are. You have, by doing this method or adapting this method, you have taken more responsibility on yourself. Okay, and this is really, really great, because only dedicated persons who think the student to be their own son and daughters, they only can do this one. So this is great for great of you that you have.
I have an example. I have another, doctor, another boosting example actually. When I find my children, my sons or daughters or friends or like that, when they graduated from universities and they access very fast in the marketplace, and they are doing very good job, and all people appreciate them. What can I do? If I compensate, compensate this, these things, I have to kiss the head and hand of those teachers who taught them. So those are examples. So why I am not doing that?
Excellent, excellent. Doctor,
all students are our future. If we are not taking care of our students, we never have a future. This philosophy is very easy, doctor.
Yes, yes, yes.
You lived part of this exercises, and when we were working in many places before, right? And many years.
Very good, Doctor. It is,
I'm not just talking about myself, but you know, the witness is there.
yeah. I know, Doctor. I used to tell you that it is not to see that what others are giving to me, but it is important to see that what I am giving to them. So this is a very excellent thing that you have been following. Now, the person like you is a hard worker. Obviously, it was not vested only in the teaching. You have given have done some hard work in research as well. And it is very, very clear from your CV that you have produced more than 30 research papers. You have written books, and you have, and consistently you have been doing research, and not only doing alone, you are inviting the people to do research. So just regarding the research, your research methods, first talk about yourself, then how did you manage to invite the other people, and finally you will take how do you think of doing a research on a certain topic. And this is extremely important for the audience over here. So just elaborate this in detail, sir. Over to you.
My approach for research is research not for research, not for promotion, you know, but for some other important, pillars that I stand on, such as I'm doing research to pursue my interest, to pursue my interest. Otherwise, why I'm doing it? I'm not pursuing my interest. To learn something new, because any topic I do it, or any research I do it, believe me or not, it is a gift for me.
Correct.
Because, you know, I find myself that I extend my knowledge. Otherwise, if you are not updating yourself, you have to skip from the university or from the class. Because when you teach students, you have to be a researcher before you are only teaching them, or just to copy paste from a PowerPoint or like that. You are a knowledge creator, a case creator, and then, approach creator, in order to find that, to build the trust on your students, that you are able to teach them, and that you will be very proud that you are their own lecturer, right?
Yes.
This issue is very important because we learned from other. I am dedicated to other people, to many other people, many other lecturers and my colleagues before, because I learned from them. They taught us how to be an effective instructor, how to be an example for others. I am not creating these things or innovating these things, but it is available. But if you just join an optimistic people and a positive attitude lecturers, you will be, by virtue, you will get stimulated, and you'll be you'll get or acquire some features or criteria from their own success. This is the issue. So this is the second. The third point, I just to let you know, I learned something new, and to hone my problem-solving skills. Why? Because the know-how comes from research.
Correct.
If you are not making a research, you don't find that how to apply what you have been learned, and what you have your own knowledge, how to apply it in the field. Many people, they said, you are an academician, why you are joining the sport institutions?
Yes.
I told them, this is like a car. The car, maybe I use it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not just to take a car to go from home to my office. I use it for some other destinations. Okay, many functions I can use it as a car. So if I'm not honed my problem-solving skills, I will be die. Whether you grow or die. This is a Japanese wisdom. And to challenge myself itself, it is a challenge. I'm not looking to the easy way to make a research, how to go for some easy-made research. I make a research honestly, started from my on science.
Yes.
And that's it. And I joined a highly caliber, highly talented people to join them in order to make a team,
Correct.
to construct a team. Then I learn from the team as well. If you are doing alone, you will achieve maybe small results. But if you are joining a team and other people, you will achieve, huge results, and very attractive and very fruitful and very
Respective results.
additional results. Yeah,
Correct.
and this is the challenge. How I manage the research.
So,
Yes.
Doctor, you know that nowadays there are universities, three types of faculties are there. There are some universities are only research-based universities. Some university is research plus teaching. Some faculties are only for teaching. So what you are going to suggest, okay, if you are allowed to work, which university you will be preferring to join? The research-based or the 50-50 research and teaching or only teaching? It seems that you are going to prefer to be a research one, but why? Just give the little bit more light on this.
This issue is very mature in the European countries and very well-known universities, right? Sometimes, for instance, in the Harvard or Cambridge or so on, you find that there are departments under the same title. They are dedicated to the research, so they recruited the research people. Why? Because the research is investment in the human capital, and that they attracted the talented people, and it is an investment center as well.
Correct.
And the people who just looking for the laws that you recruit people to give him research, to give him teaching, to give him duties, to engage him in the quality assurance documents, maybe they ask them as many other tasks. This is not the way. The way is whether you are going to teach, you recruit the excellent and effective and efficient lecturers in teaching. If you want to recruit people for research as investment center, you recruit those people in order to make or to generate, innovation, or and to create something, and then to capitalize on their, patent and so on, and to solve it. So many countries like that.
Very good.
If we are talking about Porter or other, Porter or other people, in other academics in different countries, they are working in both research and in the industry as well. They have very, a lot of scopes. Why? Because they have a mixed abilities. If you want to direct him to the industry, they will go and give a highly talented, projects. If you want him to teach, he will give you he is a founder. He give you a lecture that you just write it and you memorize it, and then you build based on his lecture a new model, and that's it. This is the life.
Correct.
We are not looking to those people who are not familiar with managing universities or programs, or those people looking to the universities as a business, or only the profit seeking organization. Those people, if they wait for the long term and they are applying actually the approach that what I am talked about, they will be very rich people. They can reach their destination or their targets by doing the right things.
Very good, very good. So, Doctor, it is from your CV, it is also clear that you have been working as what do you call accreditation committee for giving accreditation to the universities, right? For quality assurance and all that. So could you please give some specific point where you have been observing the university, and most of the universities are failing to that point. So it's a very big process, but I'm just trying to ask, and if to make it problem simpler for you, how you were checking the diversity, equality, and equity of the faculty members in the university, just throw a light on this one, because you have
Sure.
been engaged in accreditation committee for the quality assurance. So over to you, doctor.
When I joined some universities, they are concerning about quality assurance and accreditation.
Yeah.
The first thing I do, that I find that I go through the curricula, and the curricula, I try to identify whether this curricula based or built or constructed based on the quality assurance framework. For instance, in Bahrain, there is very clear and very excellent, quality assurance system. And they invested too much on the universities, and even in the faculty members, in the schools and so on, many things. They invested to leverage the standards to the quality assurance standards. So there is a clear framework. So the first thing, I have to identify whether this curricula constructed based on the quality assurance standards. When I moved to United Arab Emirates as well, the first thing I just have, I've gone to the standards, to the framework of United Arab Emirates. When I started my job in those universities, even I check the same thing, because the standard is different sometimes, maybe different in details, but the same standards. But some standards, they break it down into some other sub-standards. When I did, I created a program that they asked me from university in London, in Victoria University in London. They asked me to construct a master degree, in order to send out based on the quality assurance QIA, quality assurance authority in London. What I did, I brought the standards of a QIA, quality assurance authority in London, and then I started my journey with this program as MBM, Master for Non-Business Background. The first step, I make a survey, and I studied the market in Europe and in Asia, in ASEAN countries, and in the Gulf countries. What are the next 10 years? What the business needs for the next 10 years ahead?
Well, put your camera on, doctor. Yeah, just,
yes.
Okay, continue.
I don't know why it is.
Yeah, it's okay. So,
for the 10 years.
Yes.
So when I started with this one, I applied the framework of a QAA. Some other university in Sweden, they asked me to deliver a workshop for a program accreditation and university accreditation. Then I just asked them to send me the framework of Europe. Because the Europe is the framework of Europe. They created this framework since 2015, and the Europe, they use it, all of them. So I went to the criteria and the standards, and standard by standard, I applied on designing any program. This is the issue. But the university, they are not concerning with the quality assurance, and they are, they don't care about who is teaching, who are those who will recruit the students to the program. They don't concern what's the market needs. And they are not concerned about the cohorts. Every cohort they change. They should cohort the curricula and syllabi, and they don't concern about mapping. Those are not universities, actually. They are maybe profit centers only. I advise them for the long range, in order to survive for the long range, they have to shift and to understand exactly that the future of any university and based on the quality assurance criteria and standards and accreditation. And the future of students, actually, 100%, they rely on the university or the program in itself, okay, and the courses and the teachers or lecturers who taught them if they are concerning about the quality assurance and following this roadmap.
Very good, Doctor.
This is my.
Now, there are many things to talk about. I have still did not enter to your research. How you have been doing research, but the time there is a time constraint, and I have already reached to the point where I must allow the audience to ask. And if there is no question, then I will be allowing you to another 15 minutes to talk about present your research that you have been doing, just for the kind of reference to the other viewers. So I would like now invite the audience, from the audience to ask a question to Dr. Professor Tareq, if you have to ask. So please come forward, okay? And you can just unmute yourself and then ask the question. From the audience, I'm just asking the audience to ask question to Professor Tareq, if you have any. Okay, first unmute yourself and then ask the question. Rabi. Yes.
Yes, may I ask?
Yes.
Thank you very much for the presentation and for this information. I just have one question, that changing the affiliations from one country to another is not an easy task. And of course that you have to be adaptive person to all these circumstances. But my point is that, have you experienced some difficulties in implementing your approach, just like a project-based learning in some country or in some affiliation?
Yes.
In your journey.
My journey, actually, I got a lot of experience. And when you move from one university to another, you move from one culture to another. I joined universities that they recruited highly cultured students. Even in the American College of Dubai, when I taught classes, they came from 18 or 20 nationalities. All of them are foreigners, and some of, not all of them, about 90%, the majority of them from foreigners from different from European countries. They join their families in business or for some official, maybe they join for official purposes, They join our classes and our university. At that time, when we find that people or the students, they join the classes and join the universities, they have their own vision and mission, and they have their own plan. So it is very easy to communicate with them and to guide them based on the quality assurance. I didn't have any problem at that time, because I know that if I don't find myself in that university on the program, I just leave it. I leave the place, and Dr. Reyaz knows me. I leave the place because it is not relevant. I'm not going just to earn money or to get a salary or to be a faculty member at the university. No, I want to find myself to what extent I take hands of students to the life, to the real life, to be happy, to be excellent provider, to be an entrepreneur in the future, to be a very successful business person, to be a motivated person, and that's it. Believe me or not, I left some universities because of I don't like their culture, starting from the head of who is leading the university. Okay, I left them, and as you know, there are a push factor and pulling factors, or push factors and attractive factors. When some factors, and when I worked in my university before, that university, they have very good pulling factors. By the time I find the environment has changed, it is very difficult to continue my journey as academic, because I am not able to do a lot of jobs rather than my path in the research and teaching and helping people, helping students. And pull factors, it is really there. Nobody will ask or questioning that why Harvard, it is number 1 or 2 or 3, or MIT like that, or Oxford or like that. All of us, we hope that we join them if there is an opportunity, in order to learn and then to share this learning and experience, to share it with other people. Because the university, they need us. They need the students, they need the program quality assurance, based on the quality assurance, they need instructors, they need, programs, they need innovation, they need, this makes the life is easy and happy.
Well, very good, doctor. Actually, doctor, for a good professor, okay, they know how to do the business. Okay, they must, that the cultural differences doesn't come to their way because the how to twist. I just give you an example. Okay, a kind of a small joke here. Okay, so it will make the thing more clear. There was a child of a very rich person, and he was studying in the hostel, living in the hostel, but he was never ready to learn, never ready to learn. So what happened? The teacher did what? He took him to the roof of the hostel and gave him to fly the kite. So he was happily flying the kite because he wanted to play. So he was flying the kite. Then he started saying, "Okay, where is your kite? Oh, it is there. Okay, so how many is at the right of your kite?" Then he said, he counted and tell him it is that many. Now, how many is at the left of the kite, your kite? So then he said, altogether, how many? Then the child is also smart. He said, "Now, sir, you want to teach me?" He threw the kite and go away. Of course, nowadays, students are also sincere. Everybody is aware that when you come to the university,
yes, I have, sorry, Doctor.
Play with that. So if you are determined to teach, I'm sure that you will surely be succeeded. Like the Chinese people made the people to drink tea by consistently making effort. In the beginning, nobody liked to take tea, but he consistently giving them free and trying to convince them. And now everybody on the world, they drink tea. So the teacher and the faculty member who is determined and dedicated will sure find the way. I'm sure and certain. Of course, you have been also. It is not, we cannot withdraw. If we withdraw from somewhere, means we are declaring our process as failure. We have to make them understand us. So, is there anyone else want to ask?
I just to comment. I just to extend my comments from Rabia. Thought that I just when I was in Liverpool University, and I just visited the market, I found that Mother Care, they have written a very short and brief and wise statement: "Is babies is our business." So since that time, I find that student is my business. Students are my business because they are my future. They reflect my reputation. They will be the ingredient of my happiness. I look, the life is very nice. Okay, once I find my students, they will be successful and happy and doing a right job. That's it.
Very good, doctor. Actually, they are in business terminology, they are your product. When they will go to the market, they will talk about you. That I have been a student. I feel proud of being a student of such and such professors. So anybody else want to ask question, please come forward. Okay. Anybody else? R. Mandal. Najla Alani.
Maybe I can go ahead with another question.
Yes, okay.
It's fine.
He's talking from Sweden.
Yes.
This is the next. This is the next person who
yes.
has to interview them.
Speak out. Who is this?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Ask your question.
This is. I'm from India, basically West Bengal.
Yeah, okay. Put
I'm
your camera
right
on, please.
assistant
Put your
professor
camera on, please.
college.
Put your camera on, please. If you can. Put your
There's some
camera
problem.
on.
I try to open my camera, but it's not.
Okay. So ask your question. Okay, no problem. Yes, good, very good. Yes, Mr. Mandal. Please ask your Dr. Mandal.
Yeah. So right now I'm working as so my India now is problem that is students have some problem with in the course, day by day, living the course.
Actually, Dr. Mandala, we can't hear you. So could you please write down your question in the chat so that I can ask him? We are not hearing it properly.
Okay.
Do you hear me? You can write your question in the chat or.
Okay, sure. I'm trying
okay,
because
okay,
here I'm using my
now it is clear. Okay.
network. That is the
Okay. Ask your question. You have unmuted yourself. You have muted yourself. Unmute. You have muted yourself. If you want to speak, unmute yourself, please. Yeah, okay.
I'm writing on the chat box.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we have been talking to Dr. Tareq, Shereef, and many things we have discussed and many more to come, but it is as the education is endless, so is the journey of education. So we will be talking more and more things will be coming up. So it is the only two things. There is a student, there is a teacher, but the everyday new philosophy, new theory is coming up just because of the situation is changing, demand is changing, so parameter is changing. So things are coming up new and new. So we need to discuss about the education. This is only thing which make the life of the human being easier, because we produce the professors and doctors from here only. What should be methodology in teaching to attract the students? So his question is, doctor, what should be the methodology to attract the student in teaching? Okay.
Yes, teaching actually the
What should
reputation
be
of a person.
methodology?
You know, the methodology, you know, I just you know, I talked about it, the methodology. You know, the methodology in itself is not enough. Who will apply this methodology? The people who are applying it, who are achieving this methodology, who are converted this methodology into actions. Because the students very clever. They are asking what kind of attendance, if there is rules, they are following the rules, if there is fairness, if the lecturers are they have a very good experience, they are they are qualified enough, they have experience in the business, in the workplace, and so on. This is the way. This is boosting the quality of methodology. The methodology, I told you that in the teaching that whether we focus on student-centered, you know, approach, okay, and this is very important to engage students to be involved and to be involved in the part of the teaching or of the learning, such as now all the e-learning systems, all universities are delivering you know, their courses and their programs based on the distance learning, right? So distance learning is not physically attended, students, not physically attended. And this way that the methodology of students' learning system is very important, our learning system very important. Why? Because this is the notional hours should be accounted for the students' efforts. Otherwise, if you just you know, based on the instruct or lecturer focused learning system, is not enough, because this is very classical and makes and this makes students unhappy and sleepy in the class. Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, Dr. Mandal, I think your question should be specific in this way, that you are talking about what type of students. Are you talking about the school students, university students, college students? Okay, that should be a very clear, because the method and process changes from level to level. But nowadays, after the introduction of the online teaching, the whole strategy of teaching has been completely changed. So I will try to give you something like the nowadays the people are working on the empowerment of the students. and a student should be empowered enough to take the freedom to study and take also the responsibility of their own study. And this is what is going to come up. A student has to take the responsibility of their own learning, okay? And also they should be learning through the peer learning. So there is also the kind of peer learning. I give you one example. For example, I'm a mathematics professor. So when I go to the class, okay, I just make them a group, not like sitting separately. Make them the group, and I just start writing a question which is wrong. I write the question which is wrong. Then if the students have studied this, okay, then immediately they will object, sir, something is wrong over there. So what I did, I draw their attention. I develop interest in them. And then I bring my own question over there. So if that question, I throw them a question, then I ask them to answer this one individually. Then I see that how many people answer the questions. Then I divide again the group and I tell them that, say, take one person who answered the question and other one who did not answer in a group. And then the person who did not understand, ask the one to explain him. This is peer learning. So when it happens, then the students are taking responsibility of their learning. Okay, and you have to do nowadays. There is not only that. There is a case the student want to. For example, there are in my university there are some students in America and taking lecture with me in UAE at their own pace. So they have the freedom to take. So Facebook take these ones. So there are many things coming up. Okay, you have to. But more popular is now the student empowerment through digital learning. If you make that through the digital learning LMS, then you will surely be giving them chance where they will be solving the problem and getting immediately feedback. Once they get immediately feedback, they get enthusiastic to go further. But previous now lecture-based learning, we give them the idea, give them the homework. If they don't understand, they don't even see it back, come back to the next day, and he try to evade you. They don't want to see you and try to evade, and it continues, and he become a failure. So, but if he is getting the feedback when he's learning alone, he will get into interested in study. So methods are there. Okay, it all depends upon how you are able to apply them. Is your university or college agreeing to do this? Okay, but at least on yourself, on your side, you can do that one, practice this for your better learning. I think I made your question clear, Dr. Mandal. Hello.
Thank you very much for your. Hello, are you hearing me? Hello.
Very good, very good.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. So now, is there anyone else who want to ask the question? Then I will give to Rabi. If there is anyone else who want to ask the question, then I will. Anyone else, please come forward to ask the question. Professor Tareq will not get all the time. He's a rarely available person. I have learned a lot from him. Me and him has produced 3 or 4 joint papers. Okay, so I know how hardworking he is. He never used to let me sleep properly. So he's very hard taskmaster. Okay, so we have written so many papers together. So anybody else, could you please come forward to ask the question to Dr. Tareq Shereef Younus? Otherwise, I will give platform to Rabi. Hello. Okay, Mr. Dr. Rabi, you were asking question. You can come forward. Ask your question.
Yes, it was the last question. Is that what is the advice that you can give it to the new researchers and teachers that you wish that you had it when you were in the career, for example?
Very good, doctor.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is very good question, actually. The advice I advise any researcher to be humble, first of all. To be humble and to be patient. and to have passion, okay, for the research, and not expect that it is easy way to reach his final presentation or like that. This one. And the other thing, you have to choose exactly the problem from the field work, and to identify it exactly why it has happened. Give time in order to identify the problem exactly from the field work. What's the whys behind choosing this problem, and to identify the reasons, and then to follow the steps of research, step by step. Don't jump from the research work into, for instance, into results and the data collection or like that. Don't rely on the third party unless this third party is honestly advise you and he has experience in the field of your problem. Okay, this is very important issues, and don't go for the complex and interrelated problems. Identify very small problem. Don't try to solve very thousand problems in one research. And you find that it is important to share some people from the field work, go on them and share them, okay, and just acknowledge their work. Otherwise, you will face a lot of problems. And the time management is important. Put your schedule, put your plan, and put your plan 1 and plan 2 as well. Plan 1, for instance, if you find that there is a lot of limitations and a lot of restrictions, maybe within 33 months or like that, don't insist to go. Just stop and be brave. Discuss it with your supervisor, and you can manipulate or change partially or partly from the area of problem, and ask the relevant people, and don't go to negative, okay, people. Go to the positive people in order to encourage you, and that's it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you, and be honest with your work.
Thank you very much. It's really valuable words. Thank you.
Very good. Doctor, as you have been forcing me many times, you did not force him to do something hard work. Okay, the main thing is you must have 2 is always better than 1, and 3
Yes.
is great to have. So if you are doing a collaborative research, you will never be going down. Okay, if you can distribute your work, okay, and you can be doing faster than this if you do it alone. Of course, alone, if you are confident, you can do, but it is always better, because nowadays number of research matters. So if you do in a collaborative way, then you can be doing faster, producing 2 or 3 in 1 year than only one alone. You do maybe 1 only. So in your interest should be to invite the other people to join, like-minded people, good people, who is encouraging people, as Dr. Tareq suggested you. So then it will be helping. Once your idea will work with the others, then the second one's idea. So you are producing 3 papers in 1 year, okay? So this is one of the good things, and you should follow. Number of paper matters. Number of paper matters. So you should be keeping this in mind, and hopefully you will succeed. Okay, your question were really very good, relevant, and pertinent. Hopefully you will succeed in your career. So if anybody else is there to ask question, please come forward. Otherwise, I will be just concluding this session.
And no, I advise him as well to follow my platform, because a lot of positive things I uploaded.
So I suggest you, Dr. Tareq Shereef Younus, I have already created on the Facebook a platform for the researcher, where he is guiding, helping, and explaining many things regarding the research. So if you join them, you will surely be benefited from there. And that's
it is free, Doctor. It is free, because people it is free, that in order not to concern about money. It is free.
Yeah.
This is my initiative.
Yeah,
this is my initiative, actually.
Yeah. So it's free. It's free. He want to share his experience through that platform. I think you should join and get benefit out of him. And there are not he, there are many other researchers, high quality researchers are there. So if you share any problem in that platform, maybe someone will come up and give you a good right suggestion. So that's a very good opportunity for everyone to join and be a part of that platform. So so I will be thanking everybody who joined me this one. But before that, I would like to conclude that Dr. Tareq, Shereef, you have been really mesmerizing interview. It was really very, very good. Some point which I would like to conclude with is that the first thing from my side, okay, by observation, I say that you have to be dedicated professionals. That's one thing from your lecture, it comes out. It should be dedicated professional, be it is a teaching, be it as a researcher, be it as a guide, or in any task you are given, you must be dedicated, hardworking person. Then only you will succeed in your life. As you have seen, that Dr. Tareq has been moving from one place to another, just because he has the caliber to convince the other people to hire him. So you can also have this opportunity. Always move forward, do something extra. Nowadays, there is a slogan, a kind of learning which is called lifelong learning, which is called keep yourself always updating. So if you are always updating and working on the process of lifelong learning, you will surely and certainly be successful, as Dr. Professor Tareq Younus is now at this age. And look, he is never tired. I'm challenging anyone to walk with him together. You will never be able to surpass him. He walks so fast. I never succeeded to pass. So he's so energetic. To tell you this, he's so energetic. You cannot beat him, even physically, mentally, of course not. So the another point which came up is that always take different responsibilities. Nowadays the world is open to you. If you feel that you will be restricting yourself in the teaching, okay, but industry is one of the most important factor nowadays, because the 21st century skills are for 21st century skills are needed by the those people only. The only academician will not survive. You will be able to give something to the industry, and that is what you should have in your mind. Also, you have talked about that the assignment that you took about the assurance and quality one. The quality assurance, there one thing very important worldwide it is happening is that the diversity, equality, and equity, because the world is now global world. So one world, one language, this kind of scenario is going to come up. So you will be always bringing the people together from different caste, culture, color, and also you will be giving preference to the women, to integrate women into the presentation of women should also be there. So this is the requirement of the diversity, equity, and equality. So from these things, I would like to just thank once again to Dr. Professor Tareq. It was really a very good session talking to you, and I'm sure that all the audience who have been watching has been benefited. And I'm also thankful to all those who spare their time and join with me in this program. I'm really thankful to all of you. May God bless you and give you wisdom enough to participate in these kinds of program, because this is most important for every individual nowadays. You cannot succeed without being available for any job. So with this, I will conclude my lecture here, conclude my program over here. So thank you very much. I will be just stopping my stopping here live stream, and then I will stop our recording.